Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Lee Cara, and this is Unleash Your Light right here at the Akashic Academy. Let me just take a moment and make sure that I am live. Welcome. It is Thursday, May 17th. It's 10 a.m. here on the East Coast. Let's make sure we're cooking with fire here. Today we're going to be talking about unconditional love of the self. I'm going to invite a few friends. I hope you will too. While we're doing that, I just wanted to let you know I'm so excited about today's show. Welcome, Mandy. So nice to see you. Good morning, Cora. Today's show is so important, you guys. We've been talking about unconditional love for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, and it is a super, super important thing to chat about. It's actually, I believe that it is the key that makes everything go. Hi, Christy, welcome. I think that it's really the key. I think that it's like the secret sauce. Good morning, Karen, welcome. When we love ourselves unconditionally, we're actually accessing, good morning, Patty, we're accessing the divine within us. That's what we're doing. And that's why it's so important to do. And yet, our lives, the human lives that we've led, they've practically trained us not to love ourselves. They've practically trained us to judge ourselves. They've trained us not to love ourselves. They've trained us to look at ourselves and make a face. Ew, look at her. Unleashing your light, this whole thing that we've been doing. I've been here on the Akashic Academy now for, goodness, good morning, Alicia, welcome. I've been here on the Akashic Academy for a few weeks now, and I went through all the steps of Unleash Your Light. It's all about removing those obstacles that keep us from connecting with that divinity that's inside of us. If you're here, then you know and you believe and you feel it deep down that you have a divine being inside of you, that you house a piece of the universe, a piece of God, a piece of Gaia, a piece of whatever it is that you like to call that higher power. Call it Fred, it doesn't care what you call it. Good morning, Lily, and good morning, Felicia. Welcome. It doesn't matter what you call it as long as you're seeking it, right? If you're here, then you know and you believe that that is inside of you, right? And if that is inside of you, then you are divine. You are amazing and you are worthy. So unleashing your light. I also broadcast on Sology, but I always share it on my personal page, Lee Cara, but by my name here, Clink. If you friend me, you can always find it there. I think I'm the only Lee Cara on Facebook, which is amazing considering there's 2 billion people on Facebook. And I also have a group, Unleash Your Light, and I have a page, Unleash Your Light, where I share all of my stuff, as well as a website, unleashyourlight.org, where you can get copies of my books for free. They're just short little 30 or 40 page stuff. And one of them is specifically about this. It's specifically about loving yourself unconditionally. Good morning, Donna, Teresa, Krista. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's specifically about this. Knowing that you have that piece of divinity within you, how can we be anything but loving towards ourselves, right? And it's easy to say that, and yet, how many times during the day do you find yourself saying something horrible? Do you catch yourself saying something mean to yourself, or I could never do that, or that's not for me, or I'm such a loser, or I'm so stupid. God, I always mess up. This is never right. I can never do anything right. How many times do you find yourself saying things like this? Or I'm too fat, or I'm too skinny, or nobody will ever love me. I personally, I always share my own transformations. Those of you who have been with me for a while, I know Alicia's been watching me for a while. I share my own personal transformation, and that was what they told me to do when I got my download in 2012. And when I started this journey, I was a person who said F you in the mirror to myself every single day. I was a cutter. I had the scars to prove it. I cut and all the way up into my 40s. I'm 47 years old. I turned 48 this summer. So I cut from the time I remember doing it for the first time when I was 13 years old. So I cut from the age of 13 until the age of 42. I hated myself. I hated myself. And yet I maintained a regular job, and I had children, and I was married, and you put on your mask, you put on your face, and you go to work every day, and you do what you need to do, and yet every day I looked in the mirror and said, F you. I hate you. I hate you. How do we get past that? What do we do about that? How can we shift that? Because even though logically, and maybe even in our hearts spiritually, we understand that we have this spiritual being inside of us. It is amazing what we can hide from the world. The problem is we can't hide it from ourselves. That's the problem in a lot of things. No matter how many times we pick up and move, whether it's to a new job, to a new relationship, to a new situation, change our hair, change our makeup, lose 1,000 pounds, we take ourselves with us. We take our problems with us. Thank you, Joy. We take those things that are buried deep inside of us with us into the next situation. And so when we don't work on those, when we don't heal them, even though the new situation may feel okay for a little while, it may feel great for a month, a year, 2 years. Eventually, that yucky stuff that you brought with you is going to leak out into the new situation. And then you're going to be asking yourself, how did I get in this again? Why am I stuck? Why does this always happen to me? Because you're not doing what you need to do. You're not healing what needs to be healed. And the universe keeps giving you an opportunity over and over and over again to heal these things within you. Hi, Chrissy, welcome. The universe gives us opportunities over and over again. Thanks, Patty. The universe gives us opportunities over and over again to heal things within ourselves. And usually these lessons come in the form of people all around us. And I've said this many times on my show. I've been doing this for like a year and a half now. 2 times a week, I come on and I talk for an hour. Here I only have half an hour, so I try to talk real fast. Hi, Louise, welcome. The universe tries to give us these opportunities, right? But if you have in your mind, I'm unwanted, the universe doesn't present you with 10 people to go, you are so wanted and loved. You are so loved and wanted. That's not how they get you to learn. The universe then presents you with 20 people to go, nobody wants you. Nobody wants you. And 20 opportunities for that lesson, for that thought that you are putting out there, that you are believing to be reinforced. Because the universe is reinforcing the incorrect core belief that you are carrying, that you are unwanted. And it is giving you an opportunity to overcome them on your own. And I know it sounds cruel. I know it sounds cruel. It feels cruel when it's happening. Good morning, Teresa. Ooh, New Mexico. It's early out there. I know it sounds cruel when it's happening, and it feels horrible to have people over and over again telling you that you're unwanted. I went through this for many, 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 many years. I thought I was born unwanted. It was reinforced that I was unwanted my whole life. I felt unwanted my entire marriage. I felt unwanted right up until the time that I was liberated. And even though physically I am still unwanted, inside, I feel so wanted because I allow the universe to validate me. I get my validation through the light, through the universe. And I have faith that it's all coming together. Oh, thank you, Valentina. Welcome, Kim. The universe will put in front of you people who don't want you so that you can overcome it. If you keep picking the wrong man or the wrong woman over and over again, until you figure out why, that will happen over and over and over again. You will constantly pick the wrong person. And if you keep thinking negative things about yourself, I never have enough money. I will always be this ugly. Nobody will ever love me. I will always be a loser. Things will always go wrong for me. I will never get what I think I deserve. That could never happen to me. If you keep believing those things, if you keep putting those obstacles in your path, that is exactly what will keep happening to you. That's how we stay stuck. And it all goes back to one thing. It goes back to one thing. You do not feel worthy. We all have this thing conditioned into us that we don't feel worthy of what the universe wants to give us, of what God, Gaia, whatever the heck you like to call it. We don't feel worthy of what the light is giving us. And so we sabotage. And life conditions us into these things. And I don't know what your particular tick is. That's what I call those things in your brain. The tick, I don't know what your particular tick is, but I'm sure if you listen long enough, you're going to hear it. Whether it's about how you look, whether it's about how you feel, whether about, let's see, Louise has been asking the universe to guide you. Listen. The less that you ask, if you just say, I have faith that you're going to show me the signs and then do the work on yourself, the more you're going to see the signs, Louise. It's interesting. It's just like that thing of when you stop looking for love, it finds you, that saying. When you stop trying and you just allow things to happen, they start to happen so quickly. When you stop pushing, they start to happen, because that means you're letting the universe do it. And you're not the one trying to drive the bus. Your work, our work, my work is to transform myself, is to work on those pieces inside of me that are unhealed. Our job is to learn how to love ourselves unconditionally. And like I said in the very first show, what does that mean? That means love unconditionally. That doesn't mean I'll love myself when I lose 30 pounds. It doesn't mean I'll love myself when I get a better job, when my friend forgives me for that thing I did. I'll love myself when I'm done punishing myself. I could never love myself because of that thing I did. I'll never let go of what I did to that person. I'll always feel guilty or shame or no. Our job here is to learn how to work through all that and to release it and to let it go and to love ourselves. Even if we're still holding on to that, to love ourselves while we feel that way. Welcome, Rosemary. When you can love yourself in the darkest moment, when you can look yourself in the eye and say, wow, I did a terrible thing. Am I a terrible person? And you're looking yourself in the eye and say, even if I did a terrible thing out of anger and spite, and I really hurt someone, I still love you. I still love you, and I'm going to learn something for this, and I'm going to try to make it up to them. Those are the moments of the most growth in your life. Those are the moments where you transform the most, is when you embrace those parts of you that are the darkest. Sorry, I'm getting over a thing. Those are the moments when you transform, is when you love yourself in the darkest moments. Thank you, Rosemary. And those are the hardest moments to face. For some of us, just looking in the mirror is a huge hurdle to face. How many of you have mastered putting on makeup without looking at your face? I did. When we can learn to love ourselves in our darkest moments, in our saddest moments, when we are the most ashamed, when we feel the most guilty, when we can give ourselves a hug in those moments, give ourselves a break. We have to learn to become our own best friends. We so often depend on others for comfort. We so often lean on other people, and there's nothing wrong with leaning on other people. That's a wonderful thing if you have someone in your life like that. But we all have, thank you, Jessica, we all have things that maybe we don't feel comfortable sharing with anyone. Those things that we feel so much shame about that we wouldn't even tell our best friend. And those are the things that keep us locked, stuck. They keep us from truly embracing our divinity, that piece of the light of God, of the universe that is inside of us. When you can unleash that, when you can work through that, when you can embrace that, when you embrace that, you are truly embracing the I am. You are embodying that piece of divinity in you. The I am is the great. It is God. It is the I am energy, is the God energy, is the light energy. It is the energy of the universe. And that's why it's so important to really take this time to work on yourself. Virginia's also been asking the universe which way to go. Yes, Virginia, looking for a way to make money, looking for all of these things. Everybody is searching, searching, searching. You have to ask the universe the question and then let go of it. Thank you, Sophia. When we worry on the question, we're trying to direct the answer. We're trying to lead it in a certain direction because we think we know. The universe works best when we let it go. I don't know if you've seen Frozen. I just watched it for the first time the other night, just out of curiosity also. The universe works best when you ask your question and then you let it go. And you don't fixate on it. Hi, Livy. You don't fixate on it. You don't keep asking it. You don't spin it in your head a million times. Our work is to focus inward. And it's interesting because it's like an MCS you're painting. We have to focus inward to expand outwards. So we need to focus inward and shine that light on the darkest spaces. And I always say we have to be like Scooby and the gang, okay? You ask it however feels comfortable for you, Sophia. You are the person who is connected to this divinity. You are the vessel that the divinity chose. See? Know that you are already worthy because you ask it however you want, Sophia. If it feels good to ask it out loud, you ask it out loud. If it feels good to ask in your heart, you ask in your heart. Know that this divinity chose you. It chose your experience. It chose you. Oh, thank you, Livy. Oh, you're going to make me cry. It chose you for this journey. You are worthy. You were worthy from birth. Babies are perfect, right? You are still that baby. You still have that pure, beautiful light. And it is all the stuff that the human brings through that makes us not feel that way. But we are still that. Thank you, Sophia. You are still that. And all it takes is us being like Scooby and the gang and digging down in like little detectives. And every time something gives you like a strong reaction, you go, why did I react that way? Why did that make me so angry? Why did I get so jealous because my friend talked to her? Why did I get so upset because that person got served before me? Why was I so mad about that? And you dig down, and you dig down, and you dig down. And you pull out that root of whatever it was that was making you feel that way. We are divine, and this human experience just twists us and gives us all of these lessons. And we keep repeating the lessons because the vines keep growing up from the roots. They keep growing up from the roots that were planted from the life that we've lived so far. You are so worthy of everything that you are supposed to do here. Your first job is to learn to love yourself. Because when you can love yourself unconditionally, when you can embrace that piece of the divine that's inside of you, you will hear more clearly. You will see your path so clearly. You will feel the energy clearly. You will feel connected to everything else. You will feel the empathy towards your fellow man. It changes your outlook on the world, and your purpose will shine. What you are here to do will be so bright and so shiny, you won't be able to ignore it. You're asking me, how do I hear the sides? You'll be saying, oh my God, stop talking. You'll hear it so loudly that you won't be able to turn it off as soon as you start knowing it, as soon as you start feeling it, and as soon as you start embracing it as your birthright. Believe it, Virginia, you are a beautiful person. You are a beautiful person. See, and that's the thing. We are trained by and conditioned by this world that we live in to not accept compliments. When I was in school in the 80s, yes, that's right. When I was in school in the 80s, I went to high school in the 80s. I'm about to have my 30-year high school reunion. The worst thing you could say to someone was, she's so stuck up. She thinks she's so pretty. You weren't allowed to take a compliment and say thank you. You had to go, no, I'm not pretty. No, I don't believe that. Oh, thank you. Sophia, talking to your higher self, who do you think is in there with you? You are. It's you and you. It's you and that energy. That's it. You just talk to yourself. Every time that you talk to yourself, that is a conversation with your higher self. And that's why you have to love yourself. That's why what we say to ourselves in those moments, God, I'm so stupid. God, I'm such an idiot. Why doesn't this ever work? That's why those are so powerful. Because that's when they're listening. I said this on my show on Tuesday. I was talking about limitations because I climbed a mountain this weekend, y'all. Hi, Suzanne. Welcome. Yes, exactly. Lily, and the universe does have so much trust in us because it knows us so well because it is us, right? These limitations, we are the ones who put the limitations there. We are the ones who say, I could never do that. So we have all these people who do meditation, which is beautiful, and little rituals, which is beautiful, or they go to church on Sundays, which is very nice, and it's all beautiful. But then, and they're all like in good thoughts and saying beautiful things and thinking beautiful things and higher thoughts and manifestation, and they have all this beautiful stuff in their head, right? And then the other 6 days of the week, they're thinking, I'm terrible, I'm ugly, I'm never going to get anything, and screw that guy, and that person is horrible, and blah, blah, blah. And they're in a completely different train of thought for the rest of the week. Part of loving ourselves unconditionally is learning to embody that energy every single day in every single moment. And it is not an easy thing. It is not, and it takes practice. Because you have to counter every time one of those thoughts comes in your head. You have to counter it because you're the one having those conversations. It's not somebody else in your head saying things. It's you. You're the one saying those things. You're the ones putting those thoughts in your head. You're the ones who is having that negative conversation. So it is up to you to put in the hard work. And that means you have to be hyper vigilant. You have to really pay attention to the thoughts that cross your mind. Perfect, Virginia, you just ask and then you stop asking. And then you start paying attention. That's it. You pay attention and the signs will start to come. We really have to learn how to listen. Because the negative voice, that voice that we have been conditioned to listen to our whole life that tells us we aren't you know what, the voice that tells us that we are garbage is so loud, and it has been conditioned to judge us so loudly. That voice that comes from the universe, it is so light and so delicate when it first starts to come. Good morning, Kim. That we really have to pay attention to hear it. And it's so quiet, like a whisper at the back of the orchestra, like a whisper over the cacophony of sounds at the front. It's very, very, it's beautiful when you start to hear it. And the more you tune into it, the louder it gets. And those voices at the front, you just counter them because that's programming. That's habit. It's a habit to do these things. And I talked about that on the show last week when we were talking about family. It's a habit that you get into to speak to things in a certain way. Okay, negativity. One of my books, the first book is Unleash Your Light, and I talk about being nice to yourself. One of the things that I used to do is I was very, very mean to myself. So if I dropped something, it would be an hour of me bitching myself out for dropping it. You stupid. What the hell is wrong with you? You drop everything. You're so damn clumsy. Why the hell does anyone deal with you? All I did was drop something. It doesn't need for me to be on 10. And yet it would be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of me being all screwed up because I dropped and broke something, right? What I had to do was pay attention to that. And as soon as I heard myself saying something that was negative about myself, saying something mean, you're stupid, you're fat, you're ugly, you're manly, nobody will ever love you. No wonder what happens to you is happening to you. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Emily. I counter it. No, I just made a mistake. It's okay. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. It's literally just switching the habit and believing that we are worthy, believing that that piece of the light of God, of the universe, whatever you like to call it Fred, it doesn't care, is in you, and that you are worthy and that you are trying to embrace it. You have to know that you are so very worthy of everything that is in your path. And your job is to embrace yourself, to love yourself unconditionally, no matter what you have done, no matter where you have been, no matter what you look like, overcoming that conditioning, exactly, believing in yourself. And it takes time. I say to my friend Jody all the time, it took us 40-something years to get to this point and to train ourselves to think this way. It's not going to happen overnight that they're all going to be gone. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But we can do it. We can do it. And we have support. Look at all these wonderful people that are here right now. Look at all these great people in the Akashic Academy. Our soul tribe finds us. Absolutely, I am worthy. Everybody should be saying it. You are born worthy. You house a divine being that chose you for this adventure in this incarnation on this earth. And I don't know the bigger picture. That's way above my pay grade, right? They just tell me to talk about emotions. They just tell me to talk about unconditional love. They just tell me to talk about forgiveness and empathy. And that's easy to push outward, right? We can all do stuff outwards in the hippy dippy way, right? We need to turn all that inwards on ourselves. Any instinct that you would have towards someone else, turn that on yourself. And that's the right thing. That's the right thing. Hi, Ryan. Welcome. I'm all like teary-eyed today, y'all. So I'm at the end of my half hour. I do another little bit on my couch. It's going to be a little bit shorter today. I'm actually heading out on another little vacation. This time of year, I get to have a little bit of extra vacation. This time I'm going just me, and I'm meeting up with a friend. And so it's going to be very nice. I get to be just Lee and not mommy and not anybody else. So this past weekend, I climbed a mountain with my mermaid cane. And it was absolutely beautiful. I just did a show on limitations. You can find it on my page, Lee Cara, that's me. You can come over and friend me. I have lots of room for friends. I do a show on Tuesdays as well for an hour, also called Unleash Your Light. I have a group and I have a page for Unleash Your Light. Oh, your toenails the same color? My toenails are the same color too. You can always find me on unleashyourlight.org. I have some original music there. I also have copies of both of my books there. They're only like 30 or 40 pages long. One is called Unleash Your Light, and the other one is called Spiritual, the blah, blah, blah. It's all about loving yourself unconditionally and how we can overcome. It talks about the different emotions that keep us from loving ourselves unconditionally, from depression to jealousy to anger to sadness, and how we can kind of dig down underneath of that stuff. This weekend, I'm so excited because I'm going to this waterfall that has a vortex where the ley lines cross. So I'm super excited. I'm hoping that it's like, whoa, like super spiritual. I've been reading some stuff about it. I'll let everybody know. I'll probably do a little video from there if I have service. So I am broadcasting right here at the Akashic Academy. That's where you guys have found me today. All of my videos are down here. I think this is number like 8 or 9, maybe. I'm so excited. Thank you to Emily for letting me come on here. But inside of the Akashic Academy, there is an exclusive group where you can get even more content, some amazing guided meditations from Emily. You can get full moon ceremonies. Coach Nick does some extra stuff, Mindfulness Mondays in there, and they have a bunch of stuff planned. They're about to roll out something really exciting. To join that group, you're going to go to askyourrecords.com and get more information on it. It's $11.11 a month, or you can save a little bit of money and get a bargain. I'm a bargain shopper for $100 a year. And when you join that, you get so much extra stuff and extra coaching and extra. Oh, look at this. See, I didn't even notice I have a co-host back here. You can always find me here on Thursdays at 10 a.m. right here at the Akashic Academy. After this, I'm going to take another 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to sit on my couch. We're going to talk a little bit more about unconditional love, and I'll chat a little bit more about my climb on Sharp Top. I also talk about it on my other broadcast that I did on Tuesday, which you can find on my personal page. I'm going to put my name back up here just so you can find me in case you missed me. I love you guys so very much. I'm so grateful to be here, and know that you are so worthy. Your job is to love yourself unconditionally. When you do that, you will be not only embracing that divine within you, but you will be unleashing that light so that your purpose shines out. So your purpose is so clear. You will hear it, you will see it, you will feel it, and you will be so transformed. It is amazing. I am still in the process, y'all, and every single day it still blows me away how far I've come, and I'm so excited for how far I have to go and what's on the road ahead of me. So I thank you so much for being here, and I'm going to go sit on the couch. I get a little informal, and so come on over and join me. I love every single one of you. Thank you so very much, and I will see you next Thursday.